Stranger Things is the most famous show on Netflix as of right now. And I'd say, with that being said, I do have to say how much I really enjoyed this first season. And the show follows a group of young boys around 12 years old who play a simple game of Dungeons and Dragons when suddenly their best friend Will Byers goes missing on the night of November 6, 1983. And that was the night that changed Hawkins, Indiana forever. Now, with that being said, I believe the most important thing to talk about is the main group of characters in this show. Dustin Henderson, Lucas Sinclair, Mike Wheeler, and Will Byers. They are an interesting group of characters. I think their friend dynamic in this show is really compelling and nice to see. And I believe with that, I think Will Byers, of course, he was pretty much the entire center around this first season of Stranger Things.
What?
And with that being said, the town of Hawkins, Indiana had to go searching for him after he disappeared the night before. And with that, Jim Hopper, the cop of the town of Hawkins, Indiana, and his mother, Joyce Byers, and his brother, Jonathan Byers, they are also in search of Will Byers because he has gone missing with nowhere to be found. No one has no idea where he went. And of course, after that happens, then we meet a strange child, female child to be specific, 11, who has escaped from the National Hawkins Laboratory, where scientist Dr. Martin Brenner helps work with other scientists to find what's like an alien strange world that we would call the Upside Down.
Huh?
And with that being said, I think it's important to talk about most of the events that caused this. Now, most people would say 11 is more so really the reason why this event was caused. Will Byers went missing because of the simple game of Dungeons and Dragons. 11 showed up because of the Hawkins Laboratory experiments that were going on in terms of being somewhat connected to the Upside Down, which we would call this alternate exterior world that we soon later learn it is an alternate evil, eerie version of Hawkins, Indiana. And so with that, the other characters, Nancy Wheeler, Holly Wheeler, Ted and Karen Wheeler, etc., etc., etc. I believe that they carry the show in a way. It's nice to see how different family dynamics in the show, from the Wheelers to the Byers, and then even getting to learn about Hopper's family backstory, which is pretty tragic because it would be kind of traumatic losing a child. I think it's important to understand too that Will Byers, again, as being the center of this series, he really connected not only with the Upside Down, but because of him, the entire show in general is the reason why there are monsters now connected to the town of Hawkins.
Get over there!
Because ever since he was taken to the Upside Down the night after playing their simple game of Dungeons and Dragons, then he is now basically a spy for the Upside Down, which I will get more into depth in when I do my season 2 review this Friday. Now, with that being said, I believe another important thing to bring up is the insane fight moments that happened in the show, whether it was with the school bullies that Mike, Dustin, and Lucas encountered, or it was the Hawkins laboratory fight, or it was just any fight you get to see with Hopper. Because the moments Hopper got to fight in this show, oh, it was hands down the best. Now with 11, of course, she in the show has the ability of telekinesis, so she can use her mind to attack people. She can also, if she has a quiet space, she can track other people down who are needed to be found. For in this case, she's searching for Will Byers, as again, he has gone missing, and the town is trying to find him. But later in the show, the boys, Dustin, Mike, and Lucas, figure out that Will is trapped in an alternate dimension known as the Upside Down, which I have mentioned.
Are you sure?
And 11 says that Will Byers is trapped with the Demogorgon, and he was trying to basically fight his way out of surviving from this creature. Now, as far as Barb Holland goes, aka Barbara, we just call her Barb though, because that's all they called her in this show. As far as her character, there's not really anything that concerns her because she was kind of a dull character. She didn't really have much to do in this show, but just be there for Nancy as a friend. Ooh, and speaking of Nancy, I have to bring up my favorite point of this show and why I think this show got much better ever since the season 5 trailer dropped, which I will have more thoughts on that when I do my Stranger Things 5 theories video before I watch the Stranger Things 5 season part 1. But yeah, I believe Steve Harrington, I've got to say his character arc has really come a long way, especially because the way he starts out in this first season as just being a total jerk, like not even respectful to many people, and he's really only respectful towards Nancy because it is his girlfriend. But other than that, he's not very nice, and the friends he hangs around causes him to be the way he is in season 1. And obviously not gonna say much about the other seasons yet because I would like to review those separately, and those will have separate videos soon, of course. And so yeah, I believe too, the last thing I'd like to bring up is the way Will was brought back from the Upside Down. So once everybody, the main group of characters, Dustin, Lucas, Mike, Hopper, Joyce, Nancy, Steve, Jonathan, once they all have figured out that the Upside Down is a place that is existent to the real Hawkins, Hopper and Joyce make a plan to go save Will in the Upside Down, while Nancy, Steve, and Jonathan stay at the Byers' house to set a trap for the Demogorgon when he shows up. And also one more point I'd like to bring up before I talk about why I enjoyed the way they ended this first season. I'd like to say too that the way they decided to play off of the whole moment with the bullies, that was also one of my favorite moments in this first season, and why I don't hate 11 as much as I really used to when I first watched Stranger Things. I only didn't like 11 that much because she didn't really do much for me in this first season, but in later seasons like seasons 2, 3, and 4, she became like a fan favorite to me, just like Steve Harrington. But as far as 11's arc goes in this first season, it's really compelling and nice to see how she progresses with not just her powers, but the friendships she builds along the way within the show. And that's also a great thing about this show entirely, is the friendships that the group of characters that build those friendships in this show. My favorite part from season 1 was when 11 took on Mike, Dustin, and Lucas's school bullies because she was trying to help save her friends. And wow, I have got to say, when 11 snapped the bully's arm, I was like, this is why 11 is cool now. Because of the way she broke the bully's arm. It was really cool to see. Now, as far as near the end of this series goes, of course, like I said, Hopper and Joyce go to the Upside Down and they find Will trapped there. And so they help him and bring him back to the normal Hawkins. Everything is back to normal, or so everybody thinks it's back to normal for now. And by the end of this, we have entered the era of, I'd say, winter break now, where everybody is on winter break. They're enjoying their time. And Will takes a moment to himself to go wash his hands in the bathroom. But then he gets all devastated and he's starting to remember things from the Upside Down. And that is when we realize Hawkins is not back to normal, especially not for Will, and that he is now connected to the Upside Down to where he can feel the monsters, everything that is connected to the Upside Down. And with that being said, that is my thoughts on the first season of Stranger Things. So yeah, and like I said, I really enjoyed this first season because I took a few moments of happiness to go back and rewatch this first season, as season 5 is very closely approaching us. 29 days. It's not really that far, like a few weeks or so, a couple weeks. But yeah, and I'd just like to say again, for everybody who's watching my videos, it really means a lot to me. So thank you for sticking with me along this journey. And if you haven't seen the post, I have a whole list of things that I'll be going through as far as Stranger Things content, since we are quickly approaching the final season of Stranger Things, season 5. And so I'll be doing a review of seasons 2, 3, and 4, like I said. And I know it's not Stranger Things related, but I will also be doing my review for Wednesday's season 1 and 2. And then about a day or two before Stranger Things 5 Volume 1 premieres on Netflix November 26th, I'll be doing my thoughts and theories on what could possibly go down for the first part of Stranger Things 5. And of course, probably sometime this week, I'll probably be doing a trailer reaction because we're supposed to be getting the official trailer for Stranger Things 5 this upcoming week, whether that's Wednesday or Friday. I don't know yet, but I do know they did confirm it will be this week. So stay tuned for that if I do decide to do trailer reaction or not. And you guys obviously know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything new. And as always, I will catch you guys on the flip side.